Dan Illman, Mike Beer, taking a look at race number 9 at Tampa Bay Downs on a nice card for Florida breds. This is the Turf Classic, going a mile and an eighth, and let's take a peek at this field. There's some solid runners in this race. The number 3, Knox, is entered main track only, but the 6, Me and Mr. C, is going to be tough. The 1, Forever Super, is going to be tough. These horses faced off last time out at Gulfstream Park. Forever Super got a very nice trip to win. Me and Mr. C didn't show up, but Me and Mr. C might want this longer distance.
Yeah, the distance could be key here, Dan. Ultimately, I kind of feel like the two morning line favorites here, the 1 and the 6, they look pretty solid in here. And as far as the outcome is concerned, a lot's going to me and Mr. C is going to have a lot to say about that. He was pretty flat last time. If he could rebound, he could easily win here.
Let's throw up our Timeform US pace projector. The 7, Happy Is, as Happy Does, has shown speed on turf and on dirt. I think he's going to be close to the pace. The 4, Merlin, does have some speed, but I do think the key to this pace is the 8, Otago, Mike, who has shown the speed to make the lead if necessary. And I think it's interesting that Kelsey Danner breezed this guy 57 and change the other day.
I agree with you. This horse comes back fresh off the layoff here, has plenty of speed to make the early lead in here. And I kind of looked at the race and thought that's how they would ride him. We'll see, though. I thought the 8 would make the lead in here. Forever Super, with a top late pace rating and lingering towards the back, I don't see that at all. I think this horse is going to be up close, saving ground.
He certainly has that tactical speed. He's really improved since being gelded and moved over to the Michael Trombetta barn. Let's watch Forever Super's most recent start. The Sunshine Turf against Florida breds at Gulfstream, and he sat the pocket in third all the way around, gets to the outside and is going to run down the leaders. You see Me and Mr. C, the number 1, on the far outside. He's on his wrong lead. He's been under the whip a long way, and he just didn't run.
Yeah, just didn't fire his best shot in this race. So we'll see if he can rebound. As far as Forever Super is concerned, though, Dan, I mean, he's a nose away from having 4 straight wins on the grass. And yeah, he had a good trip in that race that we just watched, but he also really ran in there. They had to switch him to the outside through the stretch. He ran the leaders over in there. I thought he won very easily. I'm not concerned about 9 furlongs for him. Are you?
Not at all. He's proven that he could handle it. And again, I think he's tactical enough to adapt. It's not like this pace is going to be blazing fast. I think Paco Lopez will have him relatively close, closer than where the pace projector has him. Lord Eddard Stark is going to be stepping up into a stakes race after winning this starter optional at Gulfstream Park on February the 22nd. Another pretty good ground-saving trip under Paco Lopez. Lord Eddard Stark is going to get to the outside, and Lord Eddard Stark is going to run second. It was a good performance, Mike. He's got to do better.
Yeah, only recently switched back over to the turf courses here, Dan, and he's run, okay in all 3 of those starts, but he's up in class here. He's got to do better.
3 is Knox, entered for main track only. So we're going to move on to the 4, Merlin, who tried to wave his magic wand last time out at Gulfstream in a conditioned $50,000 claimer, just to no avail. He finishes second, and the race will show you right now. Another horse, good tactical speed, stayed close to the pace, is going to run an okay second. This horse just got the jump on him.
Yeah, they conceded the lead. This horse broke very well in this race, but they conceded to the eventual winner there, let that horse clear, and then all they could do was chase him. And you can see there that Merlin's just not making up any ground here, and he's going to have to settle for second. His prior turf start off that little layoff in January didn't get a great trip in that race against a pretty good field. I actually thought he ran pretty well in there, Dan. I didn't love many of the longer prices in this race. He was the one I was going to try to get in there somewhere.
First time against state breds for the 5, 7 Bridges Road, who enters this race in good form, albeit the most recent win 3 weeks ago came in an off-turf race. And I just have a feeling he's better on the main track than he is on the turf.
Yeah, I don't like his turf races enough to want to play him against this field.
Me and Mr. C worked out a pretty nice trip when he won that stakes race at Ellis Park last summer. He settled in mid-pack. The hole opened up for him, but he was really running on at the end and kind of steamrolled him late to get there, going 1.25 miles. He ran second 2 starts back over the synthetic at Gulfstream, and that made a lot of folks like him in the Sunshine Turf. And after that race, it's hard to love him at a short price while readily realizing his best race is probably the best race of anyone in this field.
Oh, yeah. If he can rebound here, for whatever reason, he just didn't fire his good shot last time. But if he can rebound here, he's going to be really, really tough. And I think the 9 furlongs actually works for him. He was just, so disappointing last time, Dan. Even though you could see he was still trying through the stretch, he just couldn't really find anything there. I don't know. I was disappointed enough not to want to come back to him here at a short price, but I realized he could easily win.
The 7 Happy Is as Happy Does was washed off last time out. So we'll take a look at his most recent turf race, 2 starts back, where he was out sprinted for the early lead by kind of a runaway leader. He chased that horse. He had momentum and looked like he was going to go right on by, and he just couldn't seal the deal, falling a half length shy. He's very, very lightly raced, however, and that coupled with his tactical speed gives him some angles to like at 10-1 or so.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he's very lightly raced, and the 2 turf races are okay, and the figures sort of put him in the mix here, at least if he can take maybe one more step forward. So I'm not going to knock him down. And we watched that race, the one we just showed there, the last turf start. I mean, he ran fine in there, but he had the right kind of trip, and he just wasn't quite good enough.
Kelsey Danner had the number 8 Otago ready to roll off about a 5-month layoff last year at Tampa Bay Downs when he beat stake-bred 3-year-old stakes competition, and then they just put him in a little bit over his head in the American turf against some of the better 3-year-old grass runners in the country. Now he's got to deal with a layoff. That American turf was on Kentucky Derby Day, but he has run well fresh. I do have a lot of respect for this barn. He is working very quickly for this. I think he's going to be up close to the pace.
I do too. I'm with you. When we talked about the pace projector before, I kind of feel like this horse might make the lead in here, and that makes him dangerous. Man, that race at Tampa off the layoff last year, he ultimately the trip was really good, but it wasn't perfect for a horse who sat on the rail. And once he got through, he really ran. I think this horse has a chance to be pretty good.
Well, let's take a look at our top selections for the main event on a really nice card at Tampa Bay on Sunday. You're going with Forever Super. I think he's going to work out a nice in-out closers trip, and in the form he's in right now, he's very, very logical.
Yeah, I just like this spot for him, Dan. I liked his last race enough, and I do think there's a good trip coming once again for this horse. So I'm going to take him. I like your horse too, but the layoff sort of scared me off a little bit.
Layoff is worrisome. He's going to be fresh. He's going to be up close to the pace, and he's got to go a mile and an eighth off the layoff. It's not like he's going a mile and a 16th like last time, but I think the price might be right, and I love his upside. 8716 for me, 1648 for Mike. It's the Turf Classic at Tampa Bay on Sunday. Best of luck.